Hello there. So I thought I'd do a very quick introduction to OBS. So this video shouldn't be too long. I won't go into too much detail. I am going to be doing courses about this going forward to help people learn how to use this product. It's a fantastic product. It stands for Open Source Broadcast Software, or Open Broadcaster Software, as it says in the top. And to get it, all you have to do is go to obsproject.com. Once there, you can download, as you see, for Windows, Mac, and also Linux. So it is a really good product. Once you've downloaded it and you open it, what you'll have is this window. Essentially what it is it's a live editing suite. So you can create scenes and video elements and then transition between them and create a video live without any editing afterwards. It's really good because also you can use it to stream to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, etc. So you can do a live video stream and also make it look really cool. With LinkedIn, you do actually need a third-party piece of software like OBS to actually be able to stream, because it doesn't have the go live feature like Facebook and YouTube do. Essentially what it is as you can see, we've got a menu across the top there. A lot of stuff up here is actually available down here. You have your screen, which at the moment is black because I haven't added any elements. And then down here we have scenes, sources, audio mixer, scene transitions, and controls. So what I'll do is I'll start with scenes. A scene is essentially a pre-configured setup which contains elements from sources. Okay, so you can create multiple scenes and each scene will contain multiple sources, and these can be animated. These sources can be animated. Okay, so the audio mixer is obviously for our audio. As you can see, it's got red for peaking, etc. We can turn down our audio there, and desktop audio and the mic audio, so we can record both the sounds from the computer and also from ourselves. Scene transitions, when we transition between more than one scene, which we'll do very quickly in a bit. Then you can see here we have cut, fade, swipe. You can actually create multiple swipes and multiple fades. The duration here at the moment I've set it to ½ second. Because I want to drag it out, I might actually change that to 2 seconds, so that basically you'll be able to see the full transition when we go through it. We have start streaming for when we are streaming live to platforms such as LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. So we can directly stream, or if we wanted to, we could actually use something like StreamYard or Restream to stream to multiple platforms using this software, but we would then all configure everything through this platform and stream from here. We can record, so we could just do a video recording and do a live video edit while we're doing it. That includes screen capture. You can start virtual camera. The virtual camera is essentially for like Zoom. So I use OBS on Zoom, and I have my logo and I have text and stuff like that on my screen in Zoom so people can see what I do. Studio mode, if I click that, it actually goes into splitting the screen. So this is the program scene, this is what's going live, and that's what's coming up next. Okay, so then I can transition across to the next scene knowing what's coming next, etc. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because it's a bit more complicated. And we have settings. And in our settings, we have general settings, we have our streaming settings, output settings, audio, video, hotkeys, which are very handy, accessibility, and advanced. Now, if you went into all this and you read it, it is quite complex, but I will show you what's necessary in future courses. And then we have exit, of course. So let's go back to the beginning. So we have a scene that's already set up. There will be a scene set up by default when you actually start. You can add scenes down here, and you can delete scenes, and you can also move scenes around. Okay. And we have sources. So I'm in scene 1 and I'm going to add a source. Well, the first source I'm going to add is actually a video capture device. Okay, now you can see here this is the first time I'm doing it. So basically, video capture device, I can call it what I want. I'm going to call it webcam. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now, hello everybody, here I am. So now you can see that it's gone, it's found my Pro webcam C920, and I can go deactivate, configure video, etc., configure crossbar, etc. Okay, and I've got my resolution. Now this is important in the first instance. The resolution at the moment is default, which is 4:3. So if I click OK, you'll see that I'm actually not full 16:9. I'm 4:3. I can move myself around. I could make myself bigger in the scene like so, and set myself like that, but I am quite large in the frame. I'm taking up a lot of it. I haven't got much room for much else. So what I actually want to do is, I'm just going to bring myself shrunk down, put myself in the middle, is I can right click on webcam and properties, and that'll take me back to that original window. And I'm going to change the resolution to custom, and I'm going to change it to 1920 by 1080. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now it has now made me the same size as the window we're working in, our viewer window. So if I put myself in there, but the problem is, as you can see, it's showing all of my sins that I hide normally. My busy side shelf there, my busy drawers and stuff behind me. But I can zoom in and I can hide all my sins. And because I got a little bit more room to work in, I can actually now position myself where I want, not take up as much room in the frame as what I was before. I might have to move myself physically, and you can see that I can move myself around, etc., and position myself where I want. Because then I can add other elements, like I can add an image. Okay, now I'm going to call this CWE Clockwork Eye logo. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now it's immediately going to say, well, where is this image? So I can browse, and it'll open up my browse folder, and I'll choose my logo and I'll click open. Okay, now I don't want that one actually. I'm going to choose a different one. The reason I don't want that one, if I click OK, is you can see that this one, I've got a transparent one, which will look a lot better, because that is a little bit, oops, I just moved myself. If I do Control Z, it'll move myself back, by the way. But that's a little bit too full on. I much prefer one that is actually transparent, so I can bin that. Are you sure you want to move it? Yes. Can add. Now I can add an image, and I can again CWE logo. Okay, and then browse, and once I've found the one I want, I can click open, and okay. Now you can see it's quite a large logo, but again, like everything on OBS, I can shrink it down. I could actually, if I wanted to, because of the way that OBS works, is I can flip it. So I can actually invert things. So if you did have an image that was inverted, you might want to invert your logo or your text, and you can do that on here. So there we go. There's my logo. Transparent. As I say, I prefer it because it blends into the background nicely. It doesn't kind of stand out really, really horrible. I can add text. So I got text GDI. I could then put, I would call it OBS. Create new and OK. And then in here, I don't know why you get such a big preview window, but you do. But the text goes here. So this is OBS. And then as you can see, it's writing the text for me up here. But it's in white. I might want it to choose it to change the color. So I can select color. I can say, well, let's make it black. Okay. So now my text is now black, as you can see. I can change the opacity of the color. So I can make it, let me show you properly. So there's the text. Ooh, gone there, gone there. Yeah. And then basically what I can do is I can have a background color if I wanted to. And I can say, let's make it blue. That'll do. I like blue. But by default, the background opacity is 0. So you actually won't see any change until you turn this up. Okay. So essentially, we can then align it left, center, right. So it's center. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to move it around anyway. So let's have it vertical alignment, top or center or bottom. Doesn't matter at this point. And I'm going to say, I want an outline. I want an outline which is 5 pixels deep, and I want it to be white. So that's white. I could change the color if I wanted to, but I'm going to stick with white. Okay, now that's just basic text. So okay that, and look at that. Now, we could have changed the font in there, and we can also change the size by grabbing it and moving it. So I'm just going to put it down in the corner. Down in the corner by there. That'll do. That's nice. So I can now add, for example, a display capture. So I want to call the display capture monitor 2. Okay. Okay that. And you can see now it's picked my display, the other display, to this one. I can actually change that to be this, but and obviously we get infinite mirroring. But let's stick with that one. So that's display 2. For me, that's monitor 2. Don't ask. Windows sees that as anyway. Never mind. So essentially, I can click OK. But as you can see, the whole thing now has covered me. So what I can do is I can actually turn these elements off. I can even turn myself off. So I can turn these elements off, and I can bring them on as and when I want. Now that's where, when you go into the settings, you've got the shortcuts and stuff, which are really handy. But if I wanted to have a different screen, if I wanted to cut to the screen while I'm doing my presentation, then in reality what I could do is, instead of having monitor 2 here, turn that off, I can add a second scene, scene 2, and then in scene 2 I can add display capture, and I can add existing monitor 2. Okay. Now what I can do is, because I've got the scene transitions, I can basically go from me, don't forget I got a 2-second lag on this fade, yeah. So I could say, hey, yeah, let me show you blah blah blah, and then I could cut to the other one. If I obviously turn my fade down, and it would be quicker. Yeah, I could also cut like so, but a cut is just a cut, and I can also swipe. So if I wanted to, I can make it go across. With swipe, I can edit the swipe. Yeah, I can go into the swipe properties, and I can swipe from which direction I want. I can go up and down if I want to. Okay, so when I swipe, whoop. So that's it. That's OBS. It's a fantastic little product. It's great for doing live streams. It's great for doing quick videos. If you set it all up and you get all of your scenes set up, you can do a live video edit as you go, which will save you lots of time afterwards. So that's it, and it's just one of the things that we are teaching people in our Video Creators Club. And if you'd like to find out more about the Video Creators Club, then visit clockworkeye.co.uk/video-creators-club. And we'd love to help you get started on your video journey. Cheers then. Bye-bye.